So, do you have any other events that are planned?
Absolutely. So we are going to do a virtual campaign kickoff on Thursday, December 8th. We're going to do that. We're really excited about it. We're going to do it virtually because I thought about mothers who may not have childcare, who want to be there, or people who may not have transportation, who want to be there. People in other states. I went to college in South Carolina. I'm from Buffalo, all of these things. So I want to make sure that the campaign kickoff is a celebration that celebrates everybody because everybody helped to get me here. I wasn't an easy child to raise. My mom and dad, they're just grateful that I'm doing something.
Oh my God.
So
How many brothers and sisters do you
so
have?
there's five of us,
Okay.
and I have 15 nieces and nephews, and
Wow.
God knows how many cousins. So it's a bunch. So everybody has to be here for the kickoff.
Okay, I
My
got
cousin
it. I
in
got it.
Atlanta, she called me and she said, so cuz, what do we need to do? And so it's
I
that
love
kind
it.
of support that I've been getting. So that's December 8th.
Okay.
And then December 18th, I'm filing at the Board of Elections doing my, so I need everybody there because this is
Okay.
us. It's not me. It is an us thing.
Okay.
And we are all filing to change this community.
Awesome,
So,
awesome, awesome. So I'm gonna touch on a little bit of a sticky area because I know with some of the resources and people that I right here, the residents of Hoskins, they go hardcore on new blood.
and should.
So, how do you plan to address those that, they are hardcore Bill Malik supporters? And are some of your ways of thinking in alignment with hers, or just tell us how someone who would normally go in there and just do that
Yeah.
straight vote, how they would want to do something different with you?
And you bring up a good point because an incumbent always has 90% chance to win. 30, they have a name advantage, 35 to 50%. So I'm very aware of that. And so, and again, as I shared, it's not so much against, but I want to build off of that legacy. And so where I where what I'm good at is execution and following through. I'm going to show up, I'm going to be on site, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to listen. And so that is, I listening gets me to a whole different place because sometimes I could be thinking one thing and then once I listen and someone shares, I'm like, oh, well, maybe we don't need to do it that way. And so when I think about those who may say, well, I voted this way forever, I always want people to vote their conscience. Vote what you feel is best. And if you feel that I'm the better candidate, then go ahead and cast the vote. If you don't feel that I'm the better, vote your heart. But I will say that there is a difference between, there's a difference between what we do. And my platform is very clear. It is very strong. It is exactly what we need, and I'm confident in the plan that we have. And so I am about advocating. I'm not new to advocating for community. I'm not new to advocating for people. And not only am I an advocate, so I'm going to yell, I may fuss, but then I'm also going to see it through to make sure it gets done. I'm also going to see it through that it's not just one or two people I'm helping to make sure they get grants or whatever. I'm helping a community. And so that's why I would ask people to really consider thinking of it a different way. Consider, taking that courageous step to say, I'm comfortable here. And every right to be comfortable. We're always comfortable in legacy
Right.
because we know it.
That's right.
But I want people to consider taking a chance, taking a chance on something different, taking a chance on something new, because something new may be exactly it is what we need. It is what we
Absolutely.
need.
Absolutely. So I think that's an amazing response. And for people to keep an open mind,
Yes.
change is not bad, everybody. Change can be extremely good. But again, vote how you feel and what resonates with you. If you spent time here in Hoskins and heard all of what our wonderful residents are going to share with you. One of the things that has happened here, we've had people to represent from the city and the county to come and hear, and then nothing.
Yeah.
So I know the people will want a commitment that it won't be more of the same, just a different face. So what is a little bit about you that would let them know that's not what we're going to get from you. You are action, and driven to making sure that if you say something in a room in a community meeting, that it's not going to be 3-4 years later, we're still asking you the same questions and have not gotten a response. So how do you respond to that?
Well, first, I'm a victim of that type of leadership where I hear something and it doesn't happen. I'm a victim of that. And I can't be that type of person as well. I can't be that type of an elected official and I can't be that type of a leader. But my history proves that I'm not. And so there are no projects that I spoke against that or anything that I worked to change that I didn't follow through. And it's one thing to say something. So let me put it this way. If I say, hey, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, that's just words. But I have to have a strategy. I have to get up. I have to not eat so much pizza. I have to not have a martini. I've got to do all of these things. So it is not just saying something, but it is saying, hey, this is what we need to do. This is how we're going to get here. This is the timeline. And everything, things don't always move quickly.
Right.
But it is the communication it's the communication though. Like, hey, I know I said this. This is where we are. This is a barrier. This is a delay. This is how I'm working through it. Yeah. And so it really is that communication. But anything I've ever done, I've always followed through. So for example, Precinct 25, which is also in District 2, right near Betty's Ford, worked with an organization and said, okay, this precinct has one of the lowest voter turnouts in our community. I understand why people don't come out and vote. I get it. You can't expect people to come out and vote when their community looks the same. But led the creation of a strategy and said, what we're going to do, we're going to educate, we're going to get people out. And for a year, we educated the community. The voter turnout for that community went up 41% in a primary. And so there's nothing I do that I just talk and don't follow through. So
that's awesome. One of the gripes that I had, and you made me remember this, when the last voting in early November, the McCrory Y is on Badersford Road was one of the locations, and we got there and they changed everything. And I'm watching seniors struggle to get to the front door, and then there's a sign right there. You have walked all the way to the front door of this YMCA, and there's signage to tell you, no, you got to go around to the back. Well, I'm thinking it's the side, but it is literally all the way in the back. There was no lighting. It was pitch black dark. And I saw seniors give up, right there in the parking lot, didn't even go vote. Crushed my soul because that just was not right. And so many people were saying they want to file complaints. And so things like that, that we can bring light to and make sure that doesn't happen again. And then also anybody that has a concern about something that's not just talked about because it's election time, everybody always brings that up, but that they know and feel that there's going to be some action behind this well beyond, all the cameras, the microphones, and different things. These are the things that I hear from the residents. Or they're just talking because they want to get elected. Right. What are your thoughts there when, people have that type of mindset? I know you just spoke on the fact that it's about communication and making sure that people know, if things change, this is what's going on. So expound upon that a little bit more, because I know that's going to be the roughest spot. Okay, sounds good. So first, let me back up, because so when you talk about voting, that is a thing for me. So now I'm going to say this. If there were, I had to report some issues because a number of people were turned away from one of the voting locations where I was. I was working at the polling location. If there are issues like that, you need to call the Board of Elections immediately to let them know, because those are all accessibility issues. And so you have to let them know immediately. If something isn't right, let them know immediately. And so I probably sent about 15 emails on one day because there was something happening. So yeah, please do. Now let me go back to your question. So can you repeat the question for me once again? So for those that feel like, she's just saying what she's saying because, the cameras are here, she's running. And then after the election and, some of the folks that are in seats right now, I'm not ashamed to say it, they did all of that. They
Yeah.
they do the dog and pony show in front of the cameras and the lights and all of that. They get voted in, and then we don't hear from them anymore until the
Absolutely.
next election.
Absolutely.
How will you be different?
So my history has already shown that. And so when you look at a lot of elected officials and you look into what have they already done, that's always usually a strong indicator. So I've been helping our displaced and unsheltered population. I've been advocating for communities. I've been standing for our communities. I've been doing the work. And so for me, whether I'm in the seat or not, I'm going to still do the work. It's not, the opportunity to be in the seat kind of expands, of course, my reach and influence, but the work has to get done. So how will I was just on the news last week about the community area plans. You can check Sarah Stevenson forms. It's things there I'm advocating for. One particular thing I do want to mention, when I was working for a political organization here, I realized that over 30% of the Black precincts were unorganized. When a precinct is unorganized, it has a far-reaching effect. So myself and one of my favorite people, William Mitchell, he and I went door to door in the heat. We knocked on hundreds of doors. I wasn't in front of a camera and I wasn't in front of microphones. It was that hustle and grind to get it done. And ultimately, we got over 30 precincts organized in less than 3 months. And that is unheard of. Absolutely, for two people. So, so it is.
In the heat.
In the heat. Listen, it was so. And one day I wore jeans and I'm like, why do I have on jeans? It's like walking miles in jeans in 95-degree weather. Yes, I was like, what was I thinking? It was so bad. But we got what we got what we needed to get done. So it doesn't matter. So how do you know that I won't be the same? Is because I've never been that way. So lights and camera don't change that. I've been who I am.
Absolutely. And this for me as well, people say, oh, Beverly does this. And then it's not until, they peek behind the curtain and see all of the work. They don't see the 2 and 3 a.m. Up and while everybody else is asleep getting the work done. And then, just like you mentioned, there were no cameras, and you went door to door in the heat. So just that grind and understanding that we have to give people a chance to show themselves, and she's already done that. So just in keeping an open mind, not doing what you've normally done that has no results, we have to stay very open-minded and focused on what is the best for our communities. So if you were, to be elected, tell us what that looks like when it's been, Vilma Leak for a very long time. What does that look like with you in that seat?
So my hope is in that seat that she and I will that it'll be more of a passing of the torch versus, just leaving me out there with no guidance or some a little mentorship. So that would be the one thing, is just passing the torch. I've had to pass the torch, and I know the feelings that can come around that. So that's what I would hope. What else would it look like? It would look like the first 30 days, listening sessions, going to different communities, hosting these community meetings. What do you need to see? What do you want to see? What is working well? Because a lot of times when we bring people into a room, everyone just complains. But you don't want to do that. You want to also build upon the things that are working well. So just a listening session, just a listening tour. What do you need to see? Creating a strategic plan, understanding who are our collaborative partners, really looking at the funding of organizations. If you are being funded, what is the effectiveness? How well are you doing? Are you really helping the people, or are you collecting money? And so that's the difference. So I'm going to just say,
that's real, y'all.
Are you collecting the money, or what are you doing? So it would be that, really taking a true look and an assessment of who's getting funding, how is it happening, what are the outcomes, and what does the community need? I think about, a lot of times when we talk about crime reduction, I'll say crime reduction, or, bringing down drugs in a community. There's often people at the table talking about this who don't live that life. And decisions, you can't really make a decision if you've never lived that life. I've been in that environment. I grew up in that environment. And when I would hear people talk about solutions, you can't tell someone who is used to making $1,000 a day to come and get a minimum wage job and be happy about it. We have to ask those who are impacted, those who are involved, what can we do to help you change your mindset? What needs to happen? So it's really bringing people into the table, and not the normal people you see at the table, but the people who never feel invited to the table. We've got to invite. Exactly.
Yes.
That's who I want to talk to. The community leaders who are really doing the work, and those who never come to the table.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, thank you.
You have asked some really great questions. So I'm ready for any forum now.
Oh, she is. She
Thank you.
is.
You asked incredible questions.
Oh wow!
So thank
And it just
you.
flows because I'm in the hot seat a lot of days.
Yeah, yeah.
Where people have hard questions for me and
Yeah.
how will things change and
Yeah.
what is this thing called a brighter day and
Yeah.
just to even have site visits from funders. They come here and they want to know, and then it's like when they see it, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But it's not until the curtain is pulled back,
Yeah.
but the opportunity has to be there. So I need for everyone to understand you need the opportunity to be heard, and just for the opportunity to allow us to see what she will bring to the table. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you. And
for
thank you
being
for
with
what
us.
you're doing. Before we go, I've got to say thank you for what you're doing. I mean, this is amazing that so much is going on in this space. So much is going on in this space. So if nobody tells you thank you, if you never feel appreciated, I want to say thank you, because you're remembering the least of these. And that's what we need to do. So thank you.
I appreciate that a lot. And, in this, it's a lot of thankless days.
Absolutely.
But you keep going, and it's that one person, like the one who just rang the doorbell looking for services.
Yeah.
It makes you just keep going. So I want to do just that. And I also want to bring up our book that has been published with Thomas Burrell Academy. Our program, Break Every Chain, is working with the students there at Thomas Burrell, which is our neighborhood school. And they need your support in purchasing their amazing book. This has just been quite the journey to work with 3rd through 5th grade at Thomas Burrell. But now they get an opportunity to have written their own stories and illustrated their own stories. And then on the back, this is what is so impactful. Their pictures are here, and the excitement of knowing that they are the authors and illustrators. So I need everybody to go to Amazon and get this book. It is called A Breaking Every Chain Anthology. This is volume 1, because we're going to keep this going. It does require funding, so you can absolutely go to our site and help support us doing another round to do volume 2. But again, thank you all so much for your support in this. We will have the book signing very, very soon. And I just want to thank our guest again for being here and for sharing her insight, and for you joining us today and sharing and liking and continuing to support A Brighter Day and all that we're doing here in the historic Hoskins and Thomas Burrell communities, and well beyond, because our reach just continues to grow and grow. Please go to all of our platforms and check us out on a daily basis. We have some amazing footage on all that's happening right here at the A Brighter Day Community Hub and Food Pantry. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.